Hello.
I explore the room.
So, if you two would like to see Legendary Action in a Robot Chicken skit, are they even still around? Then just follow and subscribe and make all of your friends do it, please.
Yeah. Just pester them on Twitter. Have you heard of this nerd group?
They said eventually it might happen.
Yeah, eventually.
Hey, you know what? Look, if you can get behind Star Citizen eventually happening, you can get behind us eventually happening.
All that is you put your money down on the loan for that game. That's what happens.
It's just weird investments. Let's do
Pretty
this.
much.
Yeah, it's like cryptocurrency, Star Citizen, NFTs,
Okay.
synergy, all those fancy
That's what my army
words.
gets every day because of Lipton TVs. These days are
You have
extremely average.
you've Lipton STDs. What?
Oh, Lipton.
TVs.
TV. Oh,
He's
lifting.
lifting TVs, you fool.
Lifting, like lifting,
No,
not
lifting,
like lifting the brand.
lifting like stealing them from people.
Oh,
I'm a professional
fell
TV
off the
stealesman.
truck.
Professional TV stealesman. D&D?
D&D. Let's go.
Did it?
You gonna say D&D?
D&D.
Oh, okay.
I'm not doing well with letters, so I'll just go on.
Dungeons and Dragons?
Dungeons and Dragons?
The game
I-
that we play?
Do we?
Tabletop
What are we doing
role-playing game? Play Dungeons and Dragons?
Okay.
You sound like Tropic Thunder. You make my eyes rain.
Jenny,
Simple Jack.
you make
Couldn't
go
remember his name.
together
That
like
movie is
peas and
fantastic.
carrots.
It's funny.
I'm not a smart man, Jenny, but I know what love is. Jenny's a whore.
Other people would say free-spirited.
Clip.
Whatever.
Oh, I need that clip so bad. That's gonna go in your giant list of rantings that I'm already putting together. Please clip that.
Does the full skit axe out every bit?
Exclamation point clip. Please.
Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
Just expressing
Brutal.
yourself.
Yeah. Not according to Alex. Which probably isn't accurate because she probably wasn't paid for any of that.
Oh, she got what she deserved. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, Jesus!
So
When was the
wow!
last time you watched the movie?
Wow! Fuck!
She was kind of rotten.
Fucking time out, Alex! Fuck you!
She went through a hard time, had a tough life.
Yeah,
Right?
Alex, so
I don't say the
there's
same.
some deeper stuff here about like how he sees himself in Forest and how he's treated and everything. There's like some deeper levels here. For sure. Some relatability there.
No, it's just some shock jock humor. I don't actually feel that way.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is a comedy show, everybody, okay?
Yeah, and it's a
Comedy show.
fictional character.
I love you, Alex. But I cancel you right now.
Yeah,
I cancel you.
Go sit in the corner.
yeah. You think that's bad? Ask me what I think about the Notebook. All right.
What, mine?
I've seen some pretty hot takes about the Notebook, so
You think it's sweet, but then you actually see it the second time and realize everything that's going on, and you're like, went about the wrong way. Understand, different time, and all that kind of stuff, and it's kind of beautiful, the whole memory thing.
I've
Spoiler
never seen
alert.
that movie.
Good. Good for you.
Okay. Ha! Because no.
I'm gonna make that joke when we're on break. Anyways. So you know, I just realized tabletop audio. That's one thing you're kind of missing.
I think
doing
last
what
time
you
I
do with
saw
the
it
sunshine.
was like 4 years ago. Been a while.
Fair enough.
I love Forrest Gump though.
You think Sasha likes when I tell you?
So
Lieutenant Dan.
No, she's like
Check
ain't
for
got
some
no
other
legs.
Look at her just
That
soaking
is
up all this love over
It's so
here.
cool what they were able to do with old footage and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually like Forrest Gump movie. I don't like Notebook movie.
I love Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
What?
Mike
No.
doesn't know English.
Jeez. Let me ask you a question, Sasha. How
Dog
many
is
traumatic
smart.
brain injuries do you have from this table alone? Did you see that? He's like, whop. Keeps going.
Oh, probably plenty.
Considering me and Andy watched her just
You know what's funny?
and sit down from that table and like just lay there for a second and rethink her life.
You know what's funny?
You were just standing right
My
there, and then
nephew's
you
dog.
weren't standing.
My nephew's dog does the same shit. No matter how many times she's under the table, she will always just like. Bah!
When did that happen? What?
Those are-
Listen,
their
Their eyes are here.
Oh, that was over there.
Oh, you're
Spatial
Yeah, I was
awareness
standing
is
and then
not
I
a
went
strong
dink and headbutted the screw on the wall.
feature for dogs.
I had a welt for like a month.
Like
You still have a bump.
maybe like
Normally
a
I
border collie wouldn't do
normally I
that.
recover from like falls. That one sat me down for a few minutes.
Oh, when you hit your head on the
Yeah.
like you almost died.
Yeah,
It was just the weirdest,
that.
most cartoonish thing. He's standing, and then his body's just like top, bottom, right? It's just like, boom. What? You didn't even move. You just switched places.
Yeah, he just kind of like crumpled.
It's like a Family Guy when he forgot how to sit down.
What it was, I was standing.
He's looking at a chair and he can't remember how to sit down. And he just throws himself at the chair.
Well, so what it was is I was
I've
standing
never
there,
watched
and then
Family
I forgot I needed to tell my knees to stay not bent, and they just gave up.
Yeah, normally that's a subconscious thing. You don't have to tell them anything.
Yeah, but every now and then you just remember that you need to tell your body to do things, and then if you forget to do them, it just stops happening.
I have a version of that when I think
Are you saying
about how
every now
much
and
I'm
then you isn't
breathing.
every now and then you?
No, just well, it's like when I
Or
tell you
other
like,
people.
Yeah, I think this
Raise
is
your
the thing
hand if
where
what Mike is describing is something that has occurred to you.
have you
ever.
never had someone tell you you're manually breathing?
that's different.
Yeah,
Not
but
really.
then I don't forget to breathe.
Yeah.
No, what it is you have to tell yourself to breathe.
Yeah, but if I stop telling myself, I don't stop breathing.
Oh, that definitely happens to me.
You're breathing.
Yeah,
that's,
I think
that's
is
like
just
sleep
breathing.
apnea, bro.
I'm just gonna wait till you're drinking. I was like, you're trying to swallow something, and why don't you just stop?
Oh yeah,
You'll kill him.
You'll kill me. You'll see.
he's just drowns in his seat. Aww.
Have you ever like damaged your throat and had a hard time, like you couldn't swallow? Like that is a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
Don't look at me weird. I'll tell you exactly how it happened.
I think I've had swollen
You've seen me do it
glands
at work
once upon a
before.
time.
You've seen me almost die at work.
In high school, we did a powder puff football game, so the junior girls would play the senior
Yeah.
girls.
Those are awesome.
And when I was a senior, I got elbowed in the throat so
Mhm.
hard, and I couldn't breathe or swallow for
some
like
good
15
football there.
minutes. I was like,
Yeah.
I was in Iraq sprinting from cover to cover. It was a training exercise. We weren't fighting anything. Sprinting from cover to cover. When I trip and the barrel of my rifle hits the ground and the butt of the rifle hits me in the throat, and then I vault over it and hit the ground and just lay there realizing I'm dead.
Can't even call for medic.
Could you imagine in a real firefight if that had happened? It's like, oh, guy went out like a bitch.
I don't know why, but
It hurt so bad.
I don't know why, but I'm laughing because I'm thinking you doing it and everyone running by
Fucking
going, "Ah!"
the insurgents just be like,
Not
That's
in the
done.
training.
He's
They would
done.
laugh at you in
Move on.
training. In war.
So we're so used to people
Here to get
doing
more
what they're
damage
told
to
and doing it
himself than we could ever
effectively,
do.
that when
Yeah.
weird stuff like that happens,
an embarrassment.
everybody gets
Leave him.
confused. Nobody's laughing or insulting you until after they figured out what's going on. In the meantime, everybody's just like,
Yeah, they just
what is
see
he
you go
doing?
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like wondering, what is he doing? Why is he laying down like that? Did he just do a somersault? Like, it just doesn't dawn on us that a mistake can be made in those types of situations. So we get really confused.
My brain no compute.
Oh, yeah. It hurt.
I can deal with like
They're
some
bad.
throat pain, but solar plex stuff knocking the wind out of me.
Before we start playing, I'll propose something that people can answer in the chat if they want to.
Propose marriage.
sorry, I
Um,
just can't get committed like that.
I'm already.
Why do we not
committed like
treat?
that.
How would people feel about treating encounters over long distances the way you treat art along the path when you're describing players going from place to place?
Do what now? Like it's an encounter that happens, but you describe it, and it's already
Yeah. So let's say, for example, we're looking at a 20-day trek by foot from one major city to another, and instead of having to come up with all these stories or things that happen along the way, and like have the players go through them, which extends the amount of sessions that you have to play and time between. A lot of times, art along the path is like something like you spend time in a grove filled with like phosphorescent butterflies or something like that. So that's one place you spend the night in 20 days. Okay. So what if encounters were happen the same way? They don't all have to be combat encounters, correct? And even if they are, especially when players hit a certain level, it's like, what's wrong with just saying, like, one of the nights you're assailed by bandits and, you kill like 3 or 4 of them, the rest fly into the woods, and so on and so forth. And just
Literally, if Locke was keeping watch, he could kill a party of bandits
Dur-
by
dur-
himself,
yes,
no problem.
During the night,
And then you
7
award-
bandits
yeah.
walk
And
in
then
the
you
group.
award
decides
XP.
to
If you're using an
incinerate one,
XP
and they all
system,
run.
you award XP as...
Yeah,
As
you can
necessary.
award XP that way. I've done this a decent
So-
amount. What I do is I set an encounter like you're assailed by bandits that night. Hey, I need Trin to roll a perception check for me. Trin didn't catch them in time, and although you were ultimately victorious, you do all accrue 1 point of exhaustion throughout the rest of your trip. Like I do these kind of things to kind of set the tone for when they finally arrive at a city. They're beat up or tired or whatever. Yeah, it's totally a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing, but I find that some people will, what I've seen in discussions is that some people would describe that as taking away player agency because players want to interact with stuff. And what do you do if the players are like, oh, that was really neat. I wish we could have stopped and looked at X thing when you described it along the way or done X.
You have to know.
So I think there's a balance between the two of
you
them,
have to know,
but-
one, that your players trust you and how not to abuse that trust.
Yeah.
And then, more importantly, if it's something really freaking interesting that you describe, like a field of flowers that turn into butterflies every full moon,
Neat.
except the fact that we might want to go back to it at some point.
Yeah, possibly.
You know, let us go back if
Or
we really want
take
to.
I don't know, it could even be just like a 20-minute role-playing thing. If there's like one really cool spot like that we come across.
Yeah.
But
But I think you're onto something.
I think
Like
part of it is the players also accepting that not everything they have to be able to recognize that not everything put along the path is meant to be explored and interacted with.
Being able to start a poll should be on the mod options for this platform.
Isn't
But-
it? Isn't it?
It's over there.
It's over there.
Starting a poll, but I
Yeah.
can't start from there.
But anyways, it occurred to me when I was looking at some of the stuff here on Tabletop Audio's front page. There's a picture of a trail and people going.
Yeah.
well, if it's
Either
a
way.
20-day journey, most of those days aren't going to have something exciting happen. So having to go through every one of them is going to be really repetitive and
Yeah.
It's a way
we'll
of
have
streamlining.
total agency, but it's going to be boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless there's a reason you need something to happen along the way or
Yeah.
the players to interact with something. But I mean, you could even go so far as to be like, you guys meet an interesting traveling merchant. You know, you exchange a few stories. You learn a couple of rumors about the area around. I can give you a list of rumors later. You know, and you end up bartering and buying like 2 potions of healing. So it's a positive encounter that works in your guys' favor. I myself fast forward a lot of travel, and I'm just like, all right, so you travel between place to place. Because, A, I don't always want to have to come up with something along the
To
path if
interact
you've already
with.
been on the path before. You know, like perfect example, going between Oswald and Vanheim, you guys made that trip like twice, so
At
it's not
least.
always going to have something new and interesting
Yeah.
along the way to happen every time. But something like, hey, a traveling merchant or a band of thieves or somebody, or even
we
quarter
made
people.
that trip 4 times.
Yeah, it's like 4 times.
Well, between the two.
So you don't want to describe it every time, but
Yeah.
either way.
You know what I would have liked to have
So-
done though, just in retrospect?
Hmm.
Check in on the town that was raided by the Wild
The Wild
Hunt.
Hunt?
Yeah, I would like to have. I mean, we did walk by it a couple times. It would have been nice to just be like, maybe we should go look, guys.
You guys were
But
pretty
you
sure
know what?
everybody was either
I'm-
dead or missing.
I'm also okay
so.
with the fact that we never went back because it was creepy. That angel that you were just bringing around, that was creepy. If it's an angel, that thing was scary. What? You don't remember this? When Katarina, way back on our first trip to Oswell, before we got there,
I just remember dead people.
the Wild Hunt, right? So afterwards, she said a quiet little like not really a prayer, but kind of to Hecate, and then this creepy ass angel of Hecate showed up and was like took some souls and shit. You don't remember that?
No, I
It was
remember.
scary.
I do.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I remember it. I was scarred.
Yeah, there was a raven feather and stuff. I
yeah.
loosely remember it. Not
I
like word
got
for
shivers.
word.
Just trying to help him out.
There was also, in case you forgot, the time that Shedar Kai was watching you sleep.
Yeah,
So you remember that, don't you?
I do.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Creepy.
I feel like me and the Veiled Queen are square though now. I feel like we're good.
I think, but to the
I think
streamline,
it's fine.
to the yeah,
I could be wrong.
Kermit
I guess we'll
drinking
just keep
tea.
playing and find out.
This is
Yeah,
this is fine.
we'll find out.
There's
but
always room for you to sacrifice
That's what
another one of our agents.
Katarina
Just
has,
saying.
has categorized that as dealt with.
yeah. But
She's like,
We're
oh, that's
good, we're
old
moving."
shit, Veiled Queen. Come on.
Humans are weird.
Let it go.
One soul. Come on.
yeah. But to the travel thing, I think it's a good way to to frame things in encounters that aren't necessarily designed to be interacted with. Like, again, if it's something that's super cool, but it's designed to add flavor to the travel, make it more interesting. Then boom, you're here, now you're here. It's like, no, these are separate places. And it signals the player, hey, this is interesting, and you experience it, but the real meat and potatoes of the story and what we're doing here isn't here.
Yes.
Kind of thing. So it's also, kind of how Justin was saying, the trust. The DM shouldn't hide things. Well, you didn't ask them anything. It's like, well, you designed it as a part of that narrative walkthrough. It wasn't meant to be interacted with.
Yeah. And
then on top of that, it also helps if the DM knows their characters, their players' characters, and characterizes them when they do interact with anything as far as agency, in a way congruent with how they've behaved. Obviously, you're never going to get it perfect, but because you and the player might have different ideas of how your characters might act. But that's where you use it as a positive interaction.
This needs to end. You're conspiring and your secrets between each other.
Well,
First of all, you're talking about me, and I don't like it. I don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know what the best part is?
Yeah.
It's not complimentary, I can tell.
No.
Yeah. We have a group chat just for that. But,
No, do you know when it started? I'm just like over to just say hi.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It was literally, let's just have a conversation while we keep doing this back and forth.
I know.
Yeah.
But Freestyle HQ said you could describe
Then
the
it turned
journey.
into, look at this fucking guy.
Jealous.
You could describe the journey, and then if you describe something that the players latch on to and want to revisit, just have a recollection of the event and go roleplay it retrospectively. It'd be like a flashback.
That's a neat idea.
Yeah.
That's a neat idea. I think that's one of those things that definitely the restraints of doing something on a show versus doing something at a private table is a little easier for one or the other. But either way, it could be done, and it's a really cool idea for yourself.
We've definitely role played flashback. I think it was might have been the pre-launch and our practice for going live.
If you need a quick one shot in order to fill time, that's definitely something that you could utilize more than likely.
Yeah. I
You
remember
just need one of the players to be at a tavern and just be like, hey, remember when we walked past that one thing?
It is extremely difficult,
so.
but I've only done it once, but I've always loved the idea of starting a campaign or an adventure in the middle and then going, bet you're wondering how we got there, and then going all the way back to the beginning. They're so great.
Yeah, it's kind of
That's a challenge for the DM to try and line
it's
it up.
difficult, but it's fun.
Yeah. It's the less lead time you have. So if it's a one shot, much easier. But the less lead time you have, the better.
Well, and the longer between point A and point B really matters too. Because I did one for a Shadowrun campaign. We started the campaign on the roof in the middle of a gunfight. People were already injured as we were rolling initiative. Everyone's like, "What is going on?" Fight's happening. About 3 rounds in, I stop it, reverse it. 2 weeks into them finding out how they got to that rooftop, one of my players dies. I'm like, one of my characters dies. Sorry. Oh shit. One of my characters dies, and I'm like,
you fucked up.
Yeah. I just erased him from the tower.
Paradox.
I just erased him from the tower. I said, and you would have been here right now if you'd lived.
There you go.
It was so tough, though.
It's like, it was in the script the whole time, and only I have the script. No, you can't see it.
Well,
are you mathing?
Let's D&D.
I am mad.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and then Malachi says, for new areas, it's a good opportunity to give a few non-combat encounters to flavor the area.
Yeah.
If the players have traveled the area already, they can revisit. But most of the time, I hand wave travel in favor of getting to the next story beat.
Yeah, I love a good Star Wars swipe. And then we're there.
Gotcha.
And I love the opposite, just because I want to make your life difficult.
Okay.
So, as a heads up to everyone,
No.
there's definitely a poll going right now. So, if anyone's interested, click out there and state your opinion now. And you don't get to use words. You get the 2 choices.
And we've never used this tool, so we are experimenting with it.
And give us feedback. We appreciate it. Thank you, Kobold.
Me and you just hanging at the tavern.
I tried to catch the coin, and I was like, smack. I'm like,
Down the street.
The fact that
some
you decided
really
to flip it
nice
to begin with is a
something
decision that only you would
Did
make.
last week.
it's an idle mind.
Just imagine,
My
just
brain's-
imagine Locke with a
But
I'm
big
in
ol'
fidget mode.
To you.
Get a fidget.
big old street spinner.
You're gonna hear a fidget cube. You're gonna
You can't sing anymore of that song.
Mm.
We actually sell them at work, and I wanted to buy one to touch just to see if it helps.
All right.
We're off key enough that it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. All right. So late enough in the evening, arriving with Bernholt and kind of climbing up the steps and going into the temple, you find it mostly empty. There's a few like maybe one or two parishioners, but mostly it's just acolytes kind of cleaning the statues, wiping down and picking up the offerings from the day before. One of them rushes over to you, kind of immediately recognizing that there's something wrong with the man who's dressed in raggedy tore clothes and looks like he's dying.
Yeah. Good sign.
And ushers you to take him to the back of the temple towards the the privatized living quarters and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, Godric. Follow their guidance.
I am. I'm walking.
Walk faster. You could die right now.
That sounds like a him problem.
It is a him problem, but you're a hero. You're supposed to help him.
No, that is not the conversation we had.
That is exactly the conversation that I had, and you kept telling me to shut up and leave me alone.
Okay, that does sound like me.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? Now, move, as I push on your calves.
I start taking larger steps.
Oh my god, they're so hard.
Anyways,
Did you have to
Doesn't
phrase it that way, Trin?
Because they're muscly. It's weird.
In that order?
They're like tree
Or
trunks.
just Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Alright, so,
much
you go.
secrecy in this goddamn
You
table.
go
I
to
love it.
sit.
Anyways,
sit
so
the
they basically take you to the to a hospital area in the back where you can see that they're already tending to some sick and injured, but you're able to find an open spot and they direct you to put Bernhardt down on one of the beds, and they begin like addressing him, checking on him to see like exactly where the extent of his wounds are, how he's wounded, and what sorts of treatments they can deal with them. And they ask you all sorts of questions like, well, do you know how he was injured or who he is, and what do you how long do you want us to keep him here, so on and so forth.
There's a lot of I don't knows. I know his name. Everything else is I have no idea. Good luck.
Okay.
He was retained
Mhm.
against his will, possibly interrogated.
Okay.
We rescued him from Old Vanheim. You just keep him here long enough till he can walk out, at least.
And he's when he was completely naked, he didn't have a mark on him, right? Because I think we looked for a mark, right? Didn't we?
I don't remember you saying you were going to look for
I don't
any
think we-
form of a brand or
I
mark.
don't remember you guys.
Then
checking
I'll
it.
just, if you could do me a favor, look over his body for a brand or mark.
Okay. So they agreed to do so. Is there anything else that you guys want to go over?
Are there any of your masters around with the Inquisition?
Gershwind or Heinrich. I believe their names were.
Well, do you want to talk to the high priest of the temple, or are you trying to talk to the Inquisition? Because those are two different things. They're not the same.
I thought they were like best pals, same team.
I know Gershwin was
They were arguing a lot.
I knew Gershwin was using this place as an area, so I didn't know if he
Yeah,
still
so
be here.
Inquisition priority. Cause
Yeah,
it's
is
Inquisition
Gershwin available?
Okay.
business.
So one of the nuns just replies, "No, we haven't seen him in days,
Is he
or
expected?
a day. Sorry, a day.
Is he expected to return?
He might have said so. If he said so, he would have left that information with the high priest, not with us."
Okay,
Alright.
well,
Then we'll talk to the head priest then.
All right, you can find him in his private study down the halls.
all right.
I continue walking down the hallway towards that area.
Yeah, so you guys,
When Bernhardt does wake up, we've made accommodations for him at the Blessed Hearth, so if you could point him in that direction, he should be able to stay there for a while.
I think you mean the Valiants.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh.
Valiants.
The
The
Valiants.
Valiants.
The Blessed Hearth is in Oswell.
Yes.
The Valiants. Yeah.
We made accommodations for him at the Valiant, so
Yeah.
once he's ready, he can stay there for a while.
All right, well, we'll keep him here as long as the healing needs to take effect. Yes.
Also, the poll finished. It was 7 votes for DM description, DM art style.
Around
0
art
for
along
the
the
other.
way.
Yeah.
Okay. So it seems like at
With-
least 7
with
people
0
don't have
other.
any issues with them like taking their players on this journey and even having like combat encounters and stuff happen, but not have to play them all out along the way.
And no one voted for the other option.
Okay. That makes sense.
When you're as powerful as us, you don't need to play.
Well,
out
especially when you
combat.
get to a certain level, it's like
Yeah.
you don't need to make your players fight
I would
5
destroy that.
goblins that you rolled a random encounter for.
I would
I'm
destroy
sorry.
that pack of wolves.
Every now and then it might be like stress relieving, just so you're like, I'm gonna kick it really hard just to see it go away.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of different. Like setting your players up with a encounter that's makes them feel powerful because they are.
It's different. That's not what this is about.
Okay.
It's a different kind of application of a different sort of tool there.
Yeah.
Alright.
But both good tools.
That was the one I just applied when you guys were in Catacombs.
Oh, cool.
Anyways. What was I gonna say?
walking
Yeah, so
down
they
the
agree that they'll let them know. They take down the information or whatever that they need to get that sorted. Finding your way to the high priest, you find him in his private chambers, which is actually a fairly large room. It's filled with all sorts of chapters and verses, books and scrolls on Parathor and the worship of him. Aside from that, everything else feels very, I guess, just middle of the road. There's nothing really fancy. Living definitely within the means provided by the church, which is always a good sign that there's a lack of like corruption or misuse of funds within churches. But you kind of knock on the door and he opens it and welcomes you into the room. Oh, so what could I help you with? I see that you're back already.
Yes, we dealt with the mercenary group and the people that were there. We saved one of the adventurers as well.
Wait, what do you mean dealt with the people that were there? What do you mean?
I mean, killed most of them, and the rest ran.
The building that may have once been a church of Bahamut was at least run over with members of the cult of domination. And we were able to rid it of those people.
There was no worshippers of Bahamut. They were there of Tiamat.
So you're guaranteeing that there were no true worshippers of the dragon god Bahamut there?
None that we observed.
None.
When the one brought down its holy wrath upon me, it's been a long while since I've been hit that hard. It almost cut me in half. He grabbed the symbol of Tiamat and called upon it and struck me down with holy might, or tried to. So I'm assuming he was not Bahamut.
So you don't actually know. You were just assuming that everybody there was a worshiper of the dragon goddess Tiamat. So again, I ask, what do you mean dealt with the people who were there? Because as far as I'm aware, the Inquisitors said there were over 100 people living in the center of Old Vanheim.
Well, we didn't kill everyone.
Fine.
Sorry,
I was worried about that. I'm sorry.
My bad.
The Cimmerian starts speaking and says we dealt with them all. He doesn't have the same tact and understanding, I guess, or of the social cues that we're going
dealt
into
with
here.
those who
Fair enough.
were in the service of Tiamat.
Okay. And they were dispersed, left, fled.
Many were killed, and the ones that weren't killed were...
Again, I'm exceptionally concerned. You're saying many were killed. Who did you kill? Because murdering people is not what we sent you there to do.
There was mercenaries guarding the entrance to the tomb.
Okay.
And then we went down in there, and then there was a bunch of dragonborn that bared the symbol of Tiamat that were in the way of what we were doing, and we fought, and they died.
I should say that we defended ourselves, which resulted in the deaths of a few worshippers
It was like
of Tiamat.
13.
And by a few, I would say maybe 15, 20. A small violent band.
There's more fingers than I have.
And what happened to everybody else then?
They ran.
Once,
Okay, so they fled. So they're no longer staying there.
yes.
Okay.
Once they understood the
All right.
activity, we didn't slay them all. Only the ones that were trying to kill us, and just as a result, one was spared. A couple were spared actually. Because like you said, we weren't there to kill them. But then when we arrived,
No,
weren't
you
happy
were
with
there to infiltrate and investigate and find
Yes.
answers.
And we did that.
The only death that occurred happened in self-defense. The vast majority of the people that were there ran unharmed.
All right, that's all I needed to know. We didn't send you there to just murder everybody. That would be a problem.
I realize I should have described the situation before. Maybe Godric.
Yes, maybe someone with more social tact and understanding should speak on your behalf in these situations.
I felt like I got my point across just fine.
Either way, he just moves beyond you.
Godric kind of sags a little bit and just kind of sits around now.
And while we were there, we learned a few things, right, Katarina?
Well, it seems as though you learned that there was truly a front for the machinations of the cult of domination and the worshippers of Tiamat, which we assumed, but we couldn't really confirm, which is why we needed you to go there.
Yes, that aligns pretty well with what we found. We also have some important information that we were hoping that you might be able to relay to the Inquisition, given that we have business that calls us away, and we won't necessarily be able to stay until their return.
If I see Gershwin again, I'm not sure when I should be expecting him back, then I can pass the information to him.
Yeah, very well. It's not ideal. They have a team member or an ally of the Inquisition that's been, what would be the word, compromised. That's probably the best way to
marked
put
with
it.
this symbol of Tiamat, I believe is what they said.
Yeah, this marked with a, I guess it's a holy symbol, but
And
not
what's
a good
the nature
one.
of this mark?
Well, based on what they were saying, it seems as though that the mark instills a level of power over the individual in which it's imposed upon, making them fall in line, answer questions, and over the course of time, it sounded almost as if once marked, eventually you would become subservient against your will.
So it allows the assertion of control and dominance and indoctrination into their ways then.
Yes, the few members that we dealt with were acting out of fear. They were scared of the power associated with Tiamat and what maybe held over them in some way.
And as should we all, quite honestly.
But it is safe to assume that any information that this Inquisitor had, the Cult of Domination now has.
Yeah, the Inquisitor in question is Elsen. Come here.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the other Inquisitor who came here. Thank you, Goblin.
Yeah, that's him. That is the specific guy. I don't know how many Inquisitors run around these places, but that's the specific one.
That explains his whereabouts, and he was lost. But they already assumed that since he was missing, they already had assumed that he had been taken prisoner. This confirms that he was taken prisoner, but... So we thank you for that, but yes. There were only 2 who were sent here on business for the Inquisition.
Oh, I see.
Inquisitors are rare and sparse. They don't have an army. Either way, anything else? What else did you find down there?
We can assume that it is fairly easy for the Cult of Domination to get information from anyone they capture. And as such, I think it's reasonable for us to keep certain things secret from anyone who doesn't necessarily need to know them.
All right, I guess. It's fine. Keep your secrets.
But we did bring back a survivor. It appears as though he'd been imprisoned against his will and maybe even tortured. Your priests are seeing to him now, or acolytes, I should say.
Once he's better, he may have some more information about what was happening there.
The nuns who serve here are more than capable healers. They'll take care of him. And so nobody else then, just him?
Yeah, Tirathan was nowhere to be found. He must have moved on since then.
Well, when we lost track of him, we assumed he wouldn't be going there anymore. I believe the Inquisitor said as much.
Yeah.
That is
Possibly.
true. We were hoping to be able to get some information about where he was, but it didn't seem that anyone there knew.
The Master of Spies divulging his information to the regular rank and file, I think, would be incredibly stupid of him.
I agree, but we hope for the
It
best.
seems as though
of
the
course.
Cult of Domination has independent, smaller cells operating within the larger groups that call themselves the Dragon Reasonablists and the Children of Bahamut. It's very unlikely that you would find one who would know the location of any others or their leaders
Yeah.
outside of their direct chain of command.
Well,
The fact that either Dragonborn from Emrath or from the Draconian Dominion, worshippers of Tiamat, have come directly to our shores just is worrying.
we were able to remove 2 members of their rank and file, as you put it, a powerful, holy caster warrior on that Sir Tiamat, and
A holy champion of Tiamat?
yeah, he had really powerful magics.
Yes, as they normally do.
Yeah, and then there was also this wizard. Yeah, and through the course of the combat, he also fell.
Emrath is famed for its sorcerers and wizards. They're exceptionally powerful. Dragonblood runs deep in them.
I suppose that makes sense. Oh,
How many of them were there? In total, these Dragonborn who were in the catacombs.
Just 4.
4.
There was what I can only assume was the paladin, and then the 2 warriors, and then the wizard.
it
Just the
seemed
4
as-
Dragonborn. It seemed like most of the people there were mercenaries.
Yeah, hired help or something.
And I assume anybody that you didn't slay fled. Or that
They
would
did.
be the assumption, correct?
That's what we believe to be true. We won't be surprised if the ones that we engaged with may have been some of the senior members, at least for that camp. Because surprisingly enough, it wasn't like they found out and then swarmed us, which was lucky. Now that I think back on it.
Do I have a mark from the sword? Because I've only done like health potions and stuff. I haven't rested. Do I still have like the radiant strike across my chest right now?
Oh, I was talking to
Yeah,
him.
sure.
Yes, that'd be great.
This is from the one we can only assume is in charge. So
So we may have slowed them down slightly, but I don't think this was a large hit. We do, however, have information on other places where they might be gathering. So we'll be leaving town pretty soon, I believe.
Like where? Anywhere within the bounds of Midheim? Because it seems to me that you destroyed whatever cell was at work here. And at least the roads and temples and the people will be much safer for that.
No, that's why we are relying on you to relay some of this information, as we'll be forced to leave Midheim to deal with these situations that Katarina was talking about.
I shall pass on the information as quickly as I possibly can. If I must use a message, I might seek a wizard or some other individual to pass it on, or I might use a more traditional method.
If we are able to find Tirathan, we'll be sure to report back, though.
Wherever you find him, you're sure to find some sort of intrigue at this point. He seems exceptionally clever, and either way, himself and Riven more than likely have spies within that have infiltrated their way into various levels of government and positions of authority.
I agree, which is why, of course, I hope you take no offense to our secrecy.
If you feel it must be kept, then I guess you've earned that amount of trust on our behalf. I will pass on the information you did give me as soon as I see the Inquisitor again.
We appreciate your good work, sir.
Is there anything else that you need to discuss with me?
I do not believe so.
No, not at this time.
Right. Well, then, I bid you farewell for the night then. I'll return to my nightly rituals and go to rest.
Thank you.
Parathor's blessings upon you.
And to you as well.
So I go and I lead the way out of the room.
Okay. Back to the inn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The Valiants, because we're in Banheim now.
good job.
Good job. I like it.
Yeah.
Players who listen.
I I can be taught.
It can't be-
Back to the inn. At least,
Okay.
so we fight those bandits in the street in this random encounter.
Exactly, yeah. Oh,
Please,
damn.
please. Oh,
I actually rolled really high. I wonder if that
Give
would
me
be
a
on the
bandit.
counter table.
Give me a bandit.
A bandit?
Riven is standing outside.
Yeah,
I'll also take that.
yeah, a bandit shows up and he's like, "You're all surrounded." It's like he's by himself. No, we're not. Yeah, you are, right, guys? Guys.
This is the part where I hit you once, and I never see you again.
I thought you were gonna pull a Shrek. This is the part where you run away.
I was thinking about it, but I'm like, God, just gonna hit him.
You know,
So I thought Mortal Kombat. This is the part where you fall down.
Yeah. Is-
That would
God,
have been better. That would have been way better. Either of those would have been better.
when you hit people normally, we don't really see them again.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I'm just saying, I've seen Captain America kick people into cars, and they were supposedly alive. So
I'm just
No,
saying.
nobody said they were alive. They just never said
Yeah.
they were dead.
Yeah.
same thing. I'm gonna hit him in the
That's
chest.
that Marvel magic right there.
I'm just gonna hit him in the chest.
doing?
Panicking.
Panicking. Panic has ensued.
That's okay.
I'm
Locke is scribbling away on his floor. If he had a tongue, it's sticking out.
The focus is
Yeah.
real.
Boltheon just walks. I walk right by Locke, mumbling, and into the room with Burrup.
Mm-hmm.
Burrup. I saw something, heard something. I'm not quite sure, but I don't. What are you doing? Get up. Well,
He's packing.
no, stop packing. Hold on.
Well, you said that we were leaving.
Right, but right now, just stop what you're doing and listen to me for a second.
Fine. No, Misha put it back, and she's holding like this cloak, and she just sets it down.
I
Sits.
just saw some kind of portent. I'm not sure if it was a threat or a warning, but it was a message from an extraplanar entity of some sort. I don't know, a demon, an angel. I couldn't tell. It didn't feel particularly good. Maybe it was a threat.
From who? Where did you see it?
Well, I mean, I guess it was from a tiefling. No, as I was walking down the stairs, I passed by a tiefling, and when we contacted each other briefly, in their eyes, it was red, and then they said a doom is following me.
Well, that's never anything you want to hear, is it?
No. Also, I had that vision about the black sails heading to Eridor. I have to be honest, Burrup,
What did she say exactly, though?
it's a good question. I may need to take some time to really think about that. She said, "A great doom follows you." And something about going home. I'll need to pray.
So
we are packing.
Okay.
Yes, we're packing. I just don't know where we're going.
Well, maybe when we go back to Yavalar, you just go to one of the temples. Or ask for guidance from another. Maybe a
Not a bad
soothsayer
idea.
or a cleric or a sage.
Would be nice to speak to one of my own again. You're right. Either way, we're going to Ivalari. Wouldn't stop there. Don't know if I should tell the rest of the group yet, though. It's not that I want to keep it a secret. It's just that I don't. Well, my conversations don't get far with them.
I think we have a lot to worry about anyways. We wouldn't want to make them worry even more than they need to.
Well, no.
Especially if some doom is hanging over your shoulders. And by technicality, also dooms them if they're with you.
Right. Unless what was meant is that we're all doomed. No, it was pointed directly to me. Can't think of what I would have done, though. Or who I
It's
would
not
have
about
added.
who. It's about when. You haven't done it yet. You have a long life ahead of you.
That's true. Either way,
Assuming that, Takhisis doesn't rise up and conquer the world and destroy it for Tiamat as tribute. Then you have a long life ahead of you.
do you think... I know, and I don't mean this as an insult, but I am philosophizing with a bugbear. But do you think that Takhisis did rise and basically become this avatar of Tiamat and started laying waste to Terrowyn? Do you think that the gods would still hold to the Accords? Wouldn't they just step in and make it all right again?
It's a big question. I don't know. They did once, but that's what led to the creation of them to begin with.
It's true.
I think the mortal races would be on their own.
I've just had such purpose, such clarity in my actions and my choices, and I feel a little windless, like a ship on the sea with no wind to carry it. I don't know where to aim. That's a first.
Well, your goal, your calling was always sort of directionless anyways. The elves have no idea who and where this true king will be birthed and how you can find him. It's not like you're the first, and you probably won't be the last, unless you know something I don't to look for him.
That's true, but in that sense, I never thought that I would find him so much as this I would place myself so that he could be found. And in that sense, I wasn't wandering without direction. I was just wandering knowing that everything I did that mattered would lead to finding him. How do I choose between that and defending Eridor or preventing whatever doom this is? And if I can't do all of that?
It could all be one and the same.
I suppose it could, and it's quite simple. And
The first we must find out is if our homeland is truly in danger as we speak.
true.
Because
Not-
conflict and danger might just... I mean, we've repelled the attacks of your twisted and fallen cousins for years.
Right.
And they always flood and fall again, break upon the gates of our homeland each and every time.
Right, but this was a great many sales. I don't think I've seen this many since the death of Soraya.
Might be motivated by something very similar. Another tool for the cult of domination and Takhisis at her disposal.
It's not completely unlikely, but
There are a great deal of metallic dragons living in our homeland.
yes. You know what? I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner. I'll send a message. I'll take a step back and pull out my symbol to Calvandria and my symbol to Sayanine. Hold them aloft, and I'll cast the sending spell.
Yeah.
And I will send the message to Aethwyn, my wife. Hello, beloved. I feel a bit lost without you, but I needed to check in. Please warn the others I've had a vision of black sails. That's it? Crap. I wanted to send the date.
I sinned again.
Screw it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna send 2 of them. And the second one, I will just give the current date because I know sometimes these messages take a while to get there. I'll give the date. I'll give the date of when I had the vision and the date I sent the message, and then I'll just ask for a reply on if Eridor's in danger.
You're sending all this to your wife?
Yep.
Okay. Are you sure that she would be in the kind of position necessary to know whether or not Eridor would be in a greater danger?
Yeah.
Like where she lives?
Yeah.
I always assumed that, based on the things that we discussed, that you lived near the major temple dedicated to Altrari.
Yeah.
Which isn't in the capital. It's not in Mendrathis. It's further from it, but that's still pretty close. It's not near.
No, she might not necessarily have been the best, but she'll be
Yeah.
good enough. And more importantly, I really wanted to hear from her.
What I'm basically
So-
saying is, so she doesn't live. You guys don't live on the coast,
Right.
and you don't live near the Phoenix Gate and the great fortress that protects all of Eridor from the Dark Elves. But if there was an invasion that was currently happening, word would probably spread pretty quick, at least quick enough to reach Mendrathis, and then the outlying countrysides, including the Temple of Altrari.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
if she doesn't know, then she'll probably go looking for the answers.
Yeah, I'm not really
More than
expecting
likely,
that
so-
that somehow I'm going to be able to warn them before anybody else knew. Mostly I'm just wanting to get news from somebody I trust.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to work out how long it will take
Gotcha.
for them to find an answer, get it, respond, because she'll be able to respond to immediately when she gets them as sending spell anyways, both of them. And then it'll take you a few days to probably even get that on a return. So
Mhm.
I'm just working out the distance and locations and stuff. But yeah, okay. Because you can technically send the spell as much as you want, so that's all I was
Sure.
getting at.
Sure. But we'll start there.
Spam the airwaves as it is.
Hopefully they arrive in order.
No, they should arrive in order. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. So just the 2 should work. And then
You guys are leaving tonight, right?
mhm.
Like this evening?
But I'm
Okay.
I'm gonna let Burrow continue packing, and I'll walk over to where Locke is making his teleportation spell, and I'm just going to pace a little.
All right. So he comes into your room.
I mostly just let him be, and then once he starts pacing, I'm like, just if you're gonna pace,
Nothing, I'm fine.
right? But if you're gonna pace 2 paces that way, you're
Oh, yes.
dangerously close to scuffing it.
Of course.
Thank you.
I'm not going to scuff your spells. Elves travel with a grace that wouldn't even disturb the ground.
Well, you did scuff it right there, and I'm pointing to an obvious spot. where
You just did that with your finger.
Okay, I'll let you have this one.
Don't be an elf. I don't want to get teleported somewhere else.
So I go over, kind of buff it out with the sleeve, redraw it. You look upset, and you're pacing.
Everybody always says that.
I never say it.
Resting
Oh,
elf
that's true.
face.
Actually, I'm kind of surprised you noticed any facial expressions.
I notice things. Just because I don't have many opinions on them doesn't mean I don't notice.
Oh, fair.
I find you all a little too emotional.
I agree. The group is usually far too emotional, but we're not all perfect, and right now I'm proving that. I too am emotional, Locke.
Like I said, you look upset. Is it something you want to discuss?
I don't see how that would help. Just talking about a problem, we'd have to find a way to solve it.
I often find that when I discuss my problems, it helps me think of solutions even as I say it out loud.
Right, I tried that with Burrup because he doesn't usually give much. Well, he's a sounding board because most of what he says is something I taught him to say a long time ago.
Okay.
but anyway, I'm conflicted. I originally joined you to find some elven waystones. What are you doing? I'm trying to talk to you. You asked me to talk to you, and you're still focusing on the spell.
I can listen and... Alright, you have my full attention, Altheon.
Right, thank you.
You're welcome.
When I originally joined the group, I did so to find the elven waystones and to further my own purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'd want to help with what you were dealing with, and I'm fully committed to your cause. I'm getting more and more irritable as I get further away from home, and I'm starting to have thoughts that have turned into visions and even possibly omens. I don't know if the magic you weave ever contacts you that way without you beseeching it yourself, but sometimes the divine will come to me, whether I was expecting it or not.
I can't say I've ever had a conversation with the weave, no.
Interesting.
But I have been contemplating lately this idea of divinity and my own goals and returning to them, what it might take, and possibly contacting or making a conversation with. I don't know. It's been on my mind lately, after everything we've been through. Especially there's this new land that we have claim to. I have thoughts that keep coming to me about how I might want to use it, or...
Sure, but the land is both important yet meaningless right now.
Yeah.
Dwelling on the present.
I have time.
I'm a little bit more worried about the future. How am I supposed to choose between stopping Takesis, or what if I had to choose between stopping Takesis and saving my people?
You want my perspective?
Yes.
Or do you want reassurance?
No, I don't want reassurance.
Excellent.
If Alatrari hasn't reassured me yet, then you definitely can't.
Then I would say that our mission is to help the greater good of all mortal races, and that if that greater good requires the sacrifice of a great many elves, then that's the way it has to be. Because...
Well, I guess I don't mean to insult you, Locke, but I guess it's easy for you to choose that because you're not connected to your people.
You're correct.
There's nothing tying you to them. My
Although...
high elves, the blood elves, are... There aren't much of us left, and we're barely holding on to what we have. We may be powerful and resolute, but we are still ever closer to absolute devastation. And I don't have the pride to think that I'm the one who will save all of my people, or that I'll protect them in some way. That's never my... That prophecy's for someone else. But if they were all to die, I suppose what I fear the most is being the one that didn't. Couldn't carry it all by myself, especially with my family home.
Well, you may not fully... I can relate. I don't believe I have any greater destiny, but I do feel a certain responsibility to the Warforged. I am, as far as I know, very unique among the Warforged.
You're smaller.
I'm smaller, more articulate, and I've never come across another that could bend the weave as I do. And I've always felt a compulsion to learn more, but I've set it aside after what happened the last time I pushed in that
Right.
direction.
But those answers, theoretically, as long as you're alive, they'll be there.
That's what my reasoning was, is Godric gave a lot to save me in that moment, and when I was forced to choose between him and my answers, I chose him because I knew I could come back. But if he died, that was something that couldn't be changed. And I owed him, so I saved him, just like he saved me.
I don't know. I just worry that, unlike you, if I continue down this path, I lose another one entirely. I'll need more answers, and hopefully I find them in Ivalari. But I'm getting a bit listless. What are you doing? Finish the teleportation. They're going to be back any minute.
Right.
Yes.
It's done.
Oh. It's good.
I think so.
It looks like a teleportation circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
in about 20 minutes or so, the rest of the party returns to the Valiant's Inn. You all grab your belongings, and you're pretty much ready to go. As soon as you give the word, he should be able to teleport you to Yvalari, to the tower of
It went well at
the towers of
temple.
high sorcery and magic in the capital of Illithyr.
all right, all of you. The larger circles step inside.
We're going to be leaving some sort of scar in this room. Should
Just
we
the chalk.
leave a little bit more money? Just the chalk.
As far as I know,
Well,
I've
it's
never.
a good thing that the humans aren't superstitious. Step into the circle.
If we leave the chalk, are they going to have the address? Is this something that should be like secret?
That's a good point.
Yes, I suppose if the wrong person came in here, could they, from the runes on the ground, figure out where we teleported to?
Yes, but I believe it disappears when the spell is complete.
Well, perhaps we just hire them to make sure and erase things if they need to.
It's not a terrible idea.
Maybe
Let me consult my spell.
the
book.
maid service will take care of it. They'll just think we're rowdy tavern goers
As
that have
long as-
children that like to draw arcane symbols with chalk, and they'll just clean up after
I'd
us.
like to trust in that, but I think they'll probably just assume it's some sort of devil summoning circle and they won't come in here at all.
Ooh.
They might have dealt with adventurers before.
Adventurers who can teleport across the map at a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
We're not adventurers. Like, I understand that that's a good catch-all term for what we are, but we're not.
Are we not going out and adventuring?
That's what you
I
call
don't
it.
know. We're-
Was that
we're
not an
also kind of
adventure
a-
when we went in underground and found a tomb and then killed people?
I consider it an adventure when I find a cliff face and I say I'll climb to the top and see what's up there. But as soon as
That
I
sounds
find
like
something
climbing.
up there, I call it a trial or a battle or a mistake.
That sounds like climbing.
Godric,
Yes.
step into the circle. Stop
Okay.
arguing.
And I step in the circle. Now closer to Alfion.
So
Still
it's
climbing.
it's the symbol for them, and then it's in a circle, and then there's like your circles to stand in around it, and it's connected like a circuit diagram, really sharp angles and lines, and that connect into that big central rune. All of you,
Well, every time I travel like this, I get queasy.
touch hands.
Oh,
Do I have to stand next to Godric?
Godric, switch with Trin. Don't step on the runes.
I can't move. If I move, I'll step on something.
Yes, you have to touch him.
hey, we're playing D&D! Mike just hurt himself.
The rug burn?
Oh!
That's new and unique. What does that mean for
It
our
sounded like
potential
he just
future?
it sounded like he just ripped Velcro off of his skin.
Maybe that was
My
his
foot
skin
pushed
ripping.
underneath the carpet, and my toe caught underneath the rug, and just...
Oh.
Nice.
Ah!
Nice.
That's,
What does it mean? What does it
They
mean,
did do it.
DM? What does it
Oh!
It means this spell is going to go perfectly and without any hazards.
Yeah, no issues whatsoever.
Yeah.
Want to take a quick trip back?
Off
All right.
my hand.
So once everyone's got their hands,
In each other's hands.
you all start to feel like you're, touching some low voltage thing, and then
Hands touching hands.
you get a head rush,
Yeah.
and
Touching me. Ah!
yeah. When we touch, it's electric.
Hey, we are thunder dangerous.
Danger, danger, high voltage.
All right,
One
let's
more
go.
touch, one more kiss.
All right, and then we go.
So the weave basically bends, and you can see the strings of magic kind of being cut and refashioned around you, and in almost like this kind of blurry, shaking manner, like the parts of the world begin to shift around you. The building walls kind of dissipate and start to build up this new location. And then I need you to roll a D100 for me.
Oh, master, roll something.
Oh boy!
Woo!
Well,
Are you ready, Chad?
Of all the teleportation, the circle is by far the most stable. So we should be.
Yeah, but Matt isn't stable. We've learned that.
We should be. Okay.
We couldn't possibly roll bad.
That's impossible. Come on.
Impossibly.
You can never roll just 2 1s,
All
right?
right. The blue is the tens spot.
You're a 10.
All right.
He says,
Thank you.
"All
That's
right."
just not true.
I believe in my team members.
Oh look.
5.
Yeah,
5?
yeah. I got myself a 5.
Hey, you know all the stuff we were thinking
5.
about?
Whoop.
You should
So-
really be a cleric.
I should be a cleric.
What do you
So
think's
much
going to
divine
happen when Locke
intervention.
That's
dies?
super cool.
On the off chance that we're getting teleported to the wrong spot,
We're
my
going
gods
to,
reach out.
we're gonna
and
take
divine
a
intervention
we're gonna
my
take
ass.
we're gonna take a break.
Are you casting divine intervention on the
I'll
off?
cast it. They're just gonna try to help me. There's a 12% chance that the gods say nope and put us in the right spot. Just saying. Just saying. I'm doing it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Should have let me roll it. I really threw a wrench
You know
in it again.
Just since
See, I'm so proud of myself.
So how do you want to do this, DM? Because we're all dead.
We can get away with it once because we're giving it away.
Right.
Oh, hello.
So
You saw me roll.
She
that
looked up and was
five.
like, no.
Yeah, that's real. 100% real.
Okay.
5.
As the spell's unfolding and the area around you is building up into the basically the recognizable shape of the room of the teleportation circle of the tower in Yuval-Alari, there's a few moments in passing between these spaces where you pass temporarily through this space that is black and dark and saturated with absolute corruption and malice that kind of washes over you. There's almost an insanity that kind of grips onto you, and there's no comprehension of the things that you see as you pass through and shift through this space. It kind of attempts to tear away the surrounding walls of the tower and kind of pull you away, and you can see on the outsides of it creatures of design of horror and monstrous in their nature are attempting to kind of close their way into your space and accompany you inwards. Like they're reaching out at you and clawing out at you and trying to pull you through the spell into this other space, this dimension, and you can feel some of them lay their clawed and like mangled arms and hands like on your body and grabbing onto you and trying to keep you from leaving. And there's a moment where you see a large, like, winged, disgusting bird-like creature looming over the top of you with these damaged and corrupted wings and body. And then you are pulled through it, past them, and then you find yourselves in the chamber, in the Tower of High Sorcery, and Magic in Yuval-Alari. And there's this shifting of darkness and this burden lifted off of your very soul. And you come to your senses, but there is almost a receding amount of ethereal whispers and like this psychic scream inside your mind that takes a moment to dissipate. You all take 50 psychic damage.
Godric goes down.
Really?
Yeah, Godric's out.
I hadn't rested yet.
Nope.
All right, I'm gonna run over to Godric and not catch him. I'll let him fall.
That makes sense.
On the
Did
lower.
Locke take damage last week? Because the sheet
Oh.
isn't updated.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah, he
'cause I
took a bunch of damage.
You did.
I'm sure I'm down. I don't remember. It won't kill me out.
Hold on. Where did I write it down? Oh, right here.
It won't kill me outright, no matter what. It's fine.
Yeah, you down.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
He's like, we're good. Yeah, Godric's. He had 18 left.
Oh, yeah.
You were hurt.
Yeah, same deal. I just crashed.
Anybody
face
else go
first.
down?
Nope, I'm okay. I did not take any damage in the fight.
Okay.
So, I'm okay.
So
So who falls?
I start rushing over to Godric, but then when I see Locke brothers,
Burp also passes out. Boom, hits the ground.
well, I turned the other way. I was going to go save Locke first, but I'm going to run over to Burrup and give him a cure wounds. Yeah, I'll just place my hands on his head on either side of his temples, and as they glow with radiant light, I restore some of his hit points.
Ah! Is that real?
What just
Look! Your magic went wrong! Just like scraping me along the floor. Just.
As I pull out a potion and I heal him with.
I splatter him! Put it in your port! As it splashes over the body, it beads up like water on oil and then just kind of travels into the seams of Locke's body.
Yeah. I'll go over to Godric then and give him, let's see. I think I only have superior, so I'll give you a superior potion of healing.
How much you heal me?
44 plus 4 is greater.
44.
While they're
Then I'll do a greater.
while they're all recovering really quick, and I've got Burrup here.
Oh, I think I just
Thanks.
Is Burrup okay?
You're welcome.
I mean, he's unconscious.
So
Right.
you have 12 hit points.
Okay, but he's healed. He's,
Stable?
yeah.
Sure. Okay. As far as you can tell, yeah. You used whatever magic you can to pour it into him, and he wakes up, ultimately. And everybody who's healed kind of wakes up and rouses as to whether or not they're all right.
Is there anybody else in this room except for us?
Nope, just you guys.
Locke grips at his chest.
I'm gonna pull out the hammer and start fighting around and shit.
I don't think that was supposed to happen.
It
What?
definitely was not.
That is clearly why the elves use the waystones.
By Crumb's beard, the hell was that?
Locke, what did you do? Well, hold on now. When you teleport it, you pass through alternate planes, and those planes shift around. It's like diving through a waterfall, and each drop is a different destination, I suppose. We got lucky and hit something angry.
Lucky?
The odds were low.
Are you okay?
Are we okay? Rattled, and it's hard for me to focus now. I probably should have rested more before I attempted the spell. I could have guided us better.
Well, those creatures, it felt like they were tearing at us or trying to come with us or attack us. I can't really tell.
What about that big one?
I think the odds were even lower we would run into something that recognized us as we passed.
Did they come with us? Are they here? I start like looking around the room trying to find any evidence of their presence.
I think we would know if they were here.
I think now that we're here, we're probably all right. Just the journey was a bit rough.
Unless they're one of us. I've heard tales of that sort of thing.
Oh! Oh! Locke! Tell me something that only Locke would know! Or that I would know! That Locke would know! Oh, this is so confusing!
When Godric was teaching me language in the early days of my awakening, he taught me that chalk was called shit rocks.
That's luck.
Unless they're both different, because they both
When
were
I
unconscious.
first went to buy components, it was very embarrassing.
At that time, I may have pissed myself in laughter in the floor. I fell all on the ground. It was great.
Did you ask someone to make your
Shit
shit
rocks.
rock?
Yes.
He asked.
I see.
Yes, I did. I told them to make sure it had gems in it. It was very silly.
It was great.
Pretty good prank. Not gonna lie.
It is a pretty good prank. It's ultimately harmless. I did kill the vendor, though. I couldn't let them see me out embarrassed.
Very bloody.
Kidding. That didn't.
You want it?
Well, perhaps we make doubly sure that doesn't ever happen again. What?
There are possible ways to reinforce the spell, so that doesn't happen. I just need to rest. We hadn't rested since our fight, and I should have.
Well, hopefully now that we're here, we shouldn't have too difficult of a time finding a place to rest, right?
Yeah. It's not like we teleported behind enemy lines. This is a friendly region to us. Relatively?
Should be. Where are we? We're in the tower, right?
Yeah, the circle.
Yeah.
It is a tower. The circle is a tower, yeah. Each tower circle. So. I thought
You know,
so.
a tower
It's a
can
towers.
I, as in Ulfion, but also Justin, I've never been here.
a tower can be a
This
square
location.
or a circle.
Not in
Or
this
a
exact
tower
location.
of circles. Well, technically cylinders.
Well, let's make ourselves known before we trip some kind of arcane security.
Good idea.
My nose is bleeding. I will cast a cure spell on myself as well. We'll do a level 3.
Well, hello! As I start like walking towards the door exit to find someone. Hello!
You don't get a response.
Maybe everyone's dead, or maybe we traveled to an alternate version of the tower where no one is here except for us.
Trin, it's alright. I think we could walk downstairs before we start scaring ourselves.
That's a good idea, unless that's where the monsters are.
How about I'll go down first?
Okay.
Alright, I'll open whatever door is in here and
Okay.
start heading out trying to find somebody. Or just make our way out of the tower.
All right. So heading down the floor brings you into a room filled with a few apprentice wizards and students who are just going about their business. They're studying magic and reading books and writing, copying scripts over, and they more or less just kind of ignore you for the most part, unless you grab one of their attention.
I'm gonna call out in Elven. You have a teleportation circle just beyond that door. Anybody could show up, and no one's guarding it.
One of them kind of goes back. No, only those with access to the sigils. The combination of them can come here.
Right. Scrying doesn't work or anything like that, I suppose. You're an idiot.
No, it actually won't work. We have protections in place in the circle.
Well, it didn't protect us.
Was it supposed to? You're
Keep
here.
studying. We should keep studying.
I'm just gonna like fumble past and kind of push Ulfion out of the way, fumbling for it. I need anything.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of
Yeah, I'm fluent.
fumble and fall.
Did
Follow
that seem-
Katarina.
Did that interaction seem a little bit confrontational? Oh, it was definitely confrontational. Altheon called him an idiot, and then he was confused, but thought he knew what he was talking about. But so did Altheon, so they were kind of like,
This is the problem. If you speak in languages I can't understand, I can't clear my throat to stop you from saying rude things.
Good point. So if I need to not be interrupted, stick with Elven.
I think that is the way to go.
Right.
well, I don't know, maybe that's just how some elves talk. At least Altheon talked that way. Not a lot of the ones I met. The moon elves. They're much more like you, kind of. Let's find a place to rest. Well, I have a place for us to rest if we don't need to speak to anyone here. There's a place worthy or an ally to the call called the Bard's Tale. That's where we met
And why are we talking?
her.
Go. I want bed.
Oh, okay.
So I start like leading the way towards the exit. I look
Alright.
for an exit.
Sure. Yeah. Only takes like 10 minutes to get down the rest of the tower. Pass through all the various studies, past the various libraries and stuff that house all of their historical and magical documentations and hold all their secrets. Nobody stops you, and then the guards question you. They all recognize who you are, so they just let you go about your business. You end up outside in the streets of Yvalari, which seemed like any other time, just like last time you were here. It's filled with people who are lively and going about their day-to-day business.
Look, Katarina, they're not monsters.
See, I told you there would be nothing to worry about.
Oh, yes. Whatever that was, it just really messed with my head.
Yeah, I mean, the city seems fine. So, bustling with trade and excitement. Vendors in the streets, people in the streets. There's plays and some discussion going on out front of the circle in the open forum. Nothing seems out of place.
Well, given that they passed out, let's get these guys someplace safe. I think the Bard's Tale is this way. No, it's this way. This way, I'm certain.
And I start leading the way towards the Bard's Tale.
Yeah, so walking through the streets on your way over to the merchant's quarter, where you can find accommodations that are a little bit more closer to what you're used to.
Lavish.
Like non-elven. But yeah, lavish because you guys throw money around. Anyways, the city seems like it's in high spirits. There's a lot of discussion about how they are organizing in anticipation of a wider war breaking out in their realm. And there's some rumors about dragons being spotted on the edge of Illithyr, and how the tower Liliana hasn't been in the tower for a few days, but it was left in the care of Kavira, her now apprentice and disciple. Aside from that, there's some interesting crafting and merchants, some displays of magic and simple spells being displayed for children in the streets, but there's no sign that any of the elves that inhabit Yvalari seem to be at all under any form of dismay or belief that there's almost anything wrong with the world. You'd never be able to tell that there's existentially looming threat of greater war happening here. Arriving at the Bard's Tale, the two-story tavern and inn is of elven design, to match the rest of the aesthetics of the buildings around it on the street, shaped with seamlessly into the surrounding trees with the elf stone. The doors have brass handles that kind of are designed to look like leaves, and they're carved with intricate patterns. Upon entering, the interior is fairly large. It's beautiful. It's a warm and lively environment in space. There are heavy darkwood long tables and chairs set with elven carved statues of various animals as centerpieces. On the corner, there's a really large and well-designed fireplace, and then there's a segregated space off to the side filled with books and like comfy floral print chairs in the corner. The whole room is lit by ever-lit lamps that hang from the ceiling, and the smell of good rum and wine kind of permeate the room, along with the laughter of the many patrons who are in here at the moment.
Oh, all right. So I'll go ahead and get us some rooms, some accommodations. Maybe grab a drink. Take that.
Oh, I'm definitely getting a drink. Here, let's go.
You can go sit down, Godric. I can go get one for you.
Get me the strongest thing they have. To
So the tavern, based on when you were here last, you know that they're more or less have about maybe 8 larger rooms for use for their clients, their patrons, all with like these large beds. It's all woolen mattresses and come with privacy drapes, soft linens, all the fetchings of an extremely well maintained and funded inn. They are well known for like books and coffee and the plays. A lot of bards come here to play whenever they're in the area. It's run by an elf named Ginlin.
Trent, perhaps you should use your message spell. Contact Liliana, or actually, contact Inara.
Yeah, I was planning on trying to do something along those lines. I was just trying to get everyone settled first.
Oh, sure.
So, Gillen, it's me, Trin.
So this fair-haired and sort of, well, looks like most all other elves, honestly. But this fair-haired elf, well dressed, comes over to you very politely. Ah, Trin. So I see we are back.
Yes, we are back with some company. As I look back at my party, just kind of gesture towards them a little bit. I was hoping I could acquire some rooms.
I think I might have a few that are still available.
I was thinking maybe 2 or 3 of your larger suites.
Well, I know that I have the double, the singular large one, but I'll see what I can do. We'll find out.
And of course, I'll be reimbursing you and paying you for the rooms, whatever the cost, within reason.
All right, I can do that for you. On the moment. So the double suite or whatever is about 5 GP per night, and all the other rooms would be about 8 silver pieces per night.
All right, can we get the double and 2 extra rooms for some of our friends, like a little bit of privacy? Or how many
So
beds
3
to a
rooms?
room? Like we could fit like
1
2 people. 1 bed?
Unless it's the double, it's 1 bed per room.
Oh, unless it's a double. Okay. So let's go with the double, and then maybe 5, 6.
And me and Locke can take it.
He's going to give you 50% off though, because he's an ally of the cause.
Trent, I won't sleep here. I'll sleep at the temple.
All right. So the double and 3 rooms, please.
Right, well, I'll see what I can do, Trin.
Which is
Again,
4
we've
of
been
us?
very busy. Lots of traders and merchants in. I might not be able to get you all the rooms, but I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
If there's just 4 of us, probably just the double would work.
Well, I guess I was factoring Burp in too. But if he's gonna
I
stay,
assumed Burp would go with.
yeah,
both
maybe.
of them.
I assume that the lady would like some semblance of privacy. We can arrange to split the double into 2 separate rooms.
Very well.
More than likely be possible.
That sounds good.
Alright, we can do that. I'll have some of the staff get on some privacy curtains and dividers then. And we'll split it into the double into 2. So 2 rooms then?
Thank you. Yes. And also,
the travel was a little rough for myself and my friends. Maybe some drinks to take the edge off.
Sure. What would you like?
Well,
Um,
anything to numb the pain.
I know our large friend would like, and I quote, whatever's strongest and 2 of those.
It doesn't have to taste good.
Although I'm sure everything here does.
Elven. It will be very strong and it's going to taste amazing.
Well, I can. We've definitely had some strong meat come from across the mountains in Priot, so we can probably do that. Aside from that, I believe everything that we serve here is top shelf and top quality.
Oh, I wasn't
Either way,
implying
we have also very lovely halfling rum. It's imported as well from the Bravadis.
I would love to sample your halfling rum.
I'll have whatever he's having.
All right, I can do.
Halflings have a very delicate palate.
So, in the room, kind of just surveying the patrons in the room, there are, it's mostly filled with commoners and traders of various races, and there's some, mostly elves, though. You do see that there are some fae, some fauns intermixed in there that are having a good time as well as a very elderly man just covered in like old tribal tattoos, just chatting up with these 3 individuals in there. You also see a warforged warrior of some type in gold plating. It looks as though it's seen battle recently. The armor plates are scuffed and scorched. It also looks like there's another adventurer of some sort possibly in the room. Looks like an elf. She has this round face and golden hair, these soft amber eyes, and she's just kind of keeping to herself in the book area and reading. But she's obviously wearing armor underneath her cloak, and she's carrying weapons. So
Amber eyes, not emerald eyes, right?
amber, yeah. Aside from that, everybody looks just like regular townspeople. But yeah, they can get you served. Would you like to have the drinks here, Trent, or did you want them sent to the rooms? As well as, I assume, dinner? We can set you over that as well.
Well, we'll have the drinks here.
Let's
Well,
see here.
maybe
This
not.
is.
There's a little bit Godric passed out in his seat.
I'm sure he'll wake back up once we bring the mead. But this is just so much more lively than we've seen in a long time. I would like to stay down here.
Yeah, soak up the energy. Maybe talk to some interesting people. That guy with the tribal tattoo looks like God.
I've never seen those fae. I've never
Oh,
seen
you think they're
anyone like that
magical?
before.
You think he can like get really, really strong and Hulk out just like Godric can? Or do you think they do something else? Maybe his tattoos make him shoot lightning.
Maybe they tell us.
So,
Maybe-
Ginlin grabs some of the staff together and they pull out an additional table since the stage that they use for plays with all the burgundy drapery and stuff and for the musicians is empty at the moment. They kind of just close the drapes partially and give you guys your own private room and put the table there.
Godric,
Ah,
they're bringing you drinks,
very
sustenance, nectar, as it were.
Aha.
It's not nectar; it's really strong booze. It's gonna feel real good.
feel like a boulder cracked into my head, and then I got up and then headbutted the boulder to prove that I was better than the boulder.
Yeah, well, this is a higher quality establishment. Might not be what you're used to, but they don't really take kindly, even if you've been drinking, to people passing out in the lobby.
I wasn't passed out. I was
I
dreaming of.
I know what passed out looks like. You weren't resting your eyes.
I was dreaming of not having a headache.
That's called being unconscious.
No.
You're dreaming.
Yeah.
I know a thing about dreams. You're unconscious.
No. You're wrong.
He's being argumentative. It's because he's tired. He needs a nap. He's like a child. He's like a little child that needs a nap.
I can't deal with the both of you.
Doesn't matter. Just agree with him and move on.
Oh my god. I saw something cool. It's a person. I know, suddenly you lose interest.
Why would I care?
Because he has tattoos that are almost as cool as yours.
What do you mean?
Look! As I point over at the old man covered in tribal tattoos.
I'm gonna size the man up with tribal tattoos.
What do you mean size him up?
I
He
want.
looks like an old man with tattoos.
A human man.
Yeah.
As he attacks him.
Yeah,
Not the
right?
dominant.
He goes over,
Just-
he's just like,
just comes
you're
up.
Sumerian, right? Obviously, you have tattoos.
I was kind of thinking that. I want to just look at his tattoos and see if there's any definitive marking or like
They're tattoos, man.
just generic tattoos.
They look like they belong to some sort of tribe, but it's hard to tell. You can really only see the sleeves on his arms. That's about it.
They're not.
Your best guess might be he could be from the Sea Raiders north of Trusk.
It doesn't look like. Sorry, random head dog. It doesn't look like any tattoos I recall seeing in Sumeria. It's probably from Tusk.
But you're like,
Trusk,
tattoo.
north of Trusk.
I haven't had any.
I didn't ask how you're doing. What did you say?
Tusk. Tongue, lazy, aphids.
Probably based on tattoos. He's probably Skillen from Skillheim.
Just because people have tattoos doesn't mean I'm going to get excited.
I don't know, it's something you guys have in common. I thought maybe you could make a friend.
You know what? I pointed in front of it when a Goliath walks through with glowing blue tattoos, then I'll be excited.
Wow, you're starting to sound a lot like Ulthion right about now. And I mean that in the most affectionate way.
How can you say that when he's speaking using only monosyllabic words?
I say it in the way he looks at the friends he makes and how he views people. He said that if a Goliath walked in, then he would be friends. But he wouldn't bother if they weren't Goliath.
I said
I'm in Elven
excited.
City and I still hate pretty much everybody in here.
Now you should get that. You should talk to somebody.
Even the elves.
What's wrong with
So
these
the server
elves?
looks up as she's putting down her plates. She's like, "Wow," and she just puts them down and leaves.
Have you ever been to Ardol? I don't think so.
Don't mind him.
I'm gonna slip her a gold. I apologize. He's very rude. We're working on it.
She's just, it's all right. It's all right.
I'm gonna reach over.
That was
People
too
are
fast. I couldn't keep up.
from a different time. And she just walks away.
A different time.
I'm gonna grab both
Well,
mugs
Same times.
and just throw one back.
When did you guys say you wanted to message Ilyana?
Yes.
We thought about it.
I want to message Ileana.
Oh my god!
Message her.
This reminds me of
All right.
the raids I went on when I was young. Tastes like shit. Can you go back and grab the other one?
Oh, they're going to love having us here. I can already tell.
I pick up my quill, and a golden leaflet floats in front of me magically as I start writing out the message to Ileana. Ileana, it's Trin. I'm with Thunder Dangerous. We're here in Yavalari.
Mhm.
We have heard that you are not around very often as I cast another spell. And we were excited to see you again. Hope all is well. Hugs and kisses. XOXO. Trin Twilight. Heart, heart. Arrow through the heart. Little butterfly wings.
Okay, you got up until your name. You didn't even say.
I
your
didn't
name.
say anything about symbols.
Yeah.
It's true. It's words.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So it goes off.
Twin Twilight goes off.
Is she the one that you're excited to see here?
No.
No.
Who is that again? Remind me.
So that's her. We shared the lovely beads.
Inara?
Yeah. She's so pretty.
Well, she's a dragon.
When she's not a
She's not
dragon.
pretty. She's.
I'm able
I-
to look past her scaly, terrifying
What?
outer exterior.
Hold on, Trin. Look past it. She's a dragon.
What I'm
She's the
saying
height
is,
of beauty and power. There is nothing better.
yeah, but it's also kind of scary and a little bit intimidating.
Yes, love generally
But
is.
now I get to know the person inside, and she's really pretty.
Do you want to send a message to her as well? See if she's here.
I kind of do, but I'm a little nervous.
I could send one for you.
No!
On your behalf.
No!
Right.
I don't know. How good are your flowery words?
This is Ilithyr we're talking about.
Not
Well,
very good.
I'm incredibly romantic.
So you get the response from
Trusting,
from
very
Ilyana,
considerate.
Holy cow! Maybe she's super magical.
or she's
Right here in
right
the
here in
city.
the same city as you. Yo, what? That's unbelievable.
you say something so.
Something
Also,
so
hello,
logical.
Hero Zone. Thank you for rating.
So she simply responds, "Thank you for your prompt notifications from Twilight. I look forward to hearing a great deal from you all. Much has happened since you left, and we have much to discuss going forward. Get to me in my chamber in the tower at your earliest convenience." That's it.
Hold out the gold layer and share it with Katarina. See, she says we need to see her. Notice how she kind of talks like a stern principal. I thought we were closer than that.
Also, there's no hugs and kisses or anything on it. I
There's
just want
no
you to know.
hugs and kisses.
All right.
Is there a-
only the bots can do the emojis. Mages can do it.
Is that what they're
That's
called?
canon. That's canon. That's why it's going to be a bard. We
Yeah.
can add like emotion
Emojis.
text. You know, no one misinterprets our sendings.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, when you sent me that sending last
So
week,
there is
it
a
sounded
number,
like you were
and
real
you
mad.
just got it. Magical hack.
You're all mad. Sound like you're all mad.
What? He rolled 8.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shot,
Give it a
magical
go.
hack.
What
Roll.
a
8.
winner.
What's the magical number?
That's
Oh,
hilarious.
there we go.
8 is the magic number.
So who's getting inspiration or magical hack? Session inspiration.
And then old Lordy Jordy got an 8 right after.
Oh, Lordy Jordy. By the way, I was bummed to see you guys had to cancel. I hope that your I guess I just call you co-worker, on the show is gonna, feel better. So
Oh, Tian.
Or go.
You know what you could say? Friend.
yeah, friend, co-worker.
Interesting friend.
Yeah. But I mean, friend could be
It's just
anything.
weird
This is
to me-
definitely roped into
It's just
their
weird to me that
show.
we've been dating for so long and you still introduce me as your coworker.
Well, at
It's
least he
weird, it's
introduces you to anyone.
Yeah.
Tara won't even go in public for this.
I know, right? We're a naughty little secret.
We're dirty.
She's
little
actually
secret.
not told anybody she does this on Friday. She just disappears.
Complete secret.
I go totally off the grid on
Yeah.
Friday night.
No one
Off
knows.
the grid.
Why does Tara know every
Her family probably just assumes she's a werewolf. That's more realistic than,
Well, yeah, and they
so
don't
maybe
ask,
her friends.
Well,
yeah,
logical.
and they don't ask questions out of respect because they know a werewolf has to kill those closest to them.
Yeah, if
So
they find the
they assume
secret.
she's just locking herself away.
Absolutely. Who's getting inspiration? Let us know. 'Cause
Alright,
they
Ophion
might
got
have
it.
to get to use it. Ophion got it.
That's
Nice.
probably like the one and only time I've ever gotten it from a roll.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel good about it. It's
I
never
do.
happening again.
I feel great about it. I'm going to use that.
Thank you for the Raid Hero Zone. We appreciate you sharing us with your community. We're having a fantastic
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, anything else you guys need to go over or discuss or anything, or what do you guys want to do?
I say.
Because it is night. You did, teleport instantly, so it's the same time as it was when you left.
Same time
Valheim.
zone? Actually,
No.
yes.
It's pretty.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Pretty close
It's
to
a
it,
magical
probably.
It's a magic world.
I want to get a cup of the halfling mead and go up to the weird old man with tattoos. And I want to make a friend and show Godric how it's done.
Trin, before you go, keep in mind that everybody here is a spy until they're proven otherwise.
I can't guarantee anything, but I probably won't be saying much about you know what to, you know who, which is anybody.
Right?
We got the bell, right?
I have
We have a magic bell that tells us when people are spying.
We have a bell
Yeah.
that rings when people try to scry on us. Yes, we do. And it has rung before.
Well, Godric, watch and learn.
What am I watching?
How to make a friend is your social soft skills.
I don't have to make a friend. I made
Something-
5 of them.
Something your barbarian tribes never taught you about.
I counted Burrow.
So,
Unlike you, I remembered it.
then 3.
You thought you were clever.
Well,
great.
go make a friend with
Like
random tattooed guy.
You never know.
I'm gonna take an extra cup of the
highly
halfling
doubt
mead.
it.
Yeah, it's called honey pine mead.
Honey pie.
Honey pine?
Honey pine. Okay.
Yes.
So I have to go-
That's like a meat.
Yes. How much do you want to
Yeah,
wager?
it's extremely it has a very pleasant taste, and it's
Oh,
actually considered pretty cheap by halfling standards. They make it in their hometowns, but it gets pretty expensive when they export it anywhere else. So,
That's because they have little legs, a lot like goblins. It's like
a little bit
twice,
taller than goblins in my world, but yeah, you're right.
twice as far for a halfling than a normal person.
That's why they use normal-sized horses and carts,
Not even.
so the
kinda
travel
like
time's the same.
value-added taxes
So
and all that kind of stuff.
As you're walking away, you just notice me and Olkian both put 2 gold on the table each, and we watch you walk away.
That's fine. Doesn't mean anything at all.
So you see the guy, the older man is sitting there. I mean, he's got like basically almost like this white beard and this grand white long hair that's kind of rolling down his shoulders, and he definitely looks like the kind of individual who spent some time doing some shit. And the 3 young gentlemen that he's with kind of look like they're probably a little wet under the ears. They look like there might be locals, or at least, maybe local-ish enough that they come here on a regular basis to trade in the city. But not at all kind of have that same kind of grim hardness to him that the older gentleman does. But one of them kind of points as you're walking up, and he turns and looks at you, and he's got this ragged scar that like runs down the side of his face, down the chin, off the bottom. And he sees you come up. What do you want?
Hey, sir, I was across the bar and I couldn't help but admire your handsome tattoos, and I figured I'd offer you a drink.
I think Trin's about to find someone else to dance with.
Don't. I don't want any drink from you.
It's pretty good. It's honey pine. Don't knock until you try it, as the wizards always say.
He just looks really confused. He kind of looks around to see who else is out there. He's like, who let you in here, anyways?
I'm a favorite patron of this place, and I'm friendly, and I buy people drinks. So why wouldn't they let me into a bar when I'm buying people drinks?
I can see that, but you can be friendly anywhere outside of this zone where I'm sitting.
Are you having a rough day? Sounds like you might need a drink. You want to talk about it?
Had a fairly rough life.
Yeah, I can tell. It looks like you have quite the stories. I myself, I'm a bard. I like to hear people's stories and share them with others. It sounds like you've learned a lot of hard lessons. Unfortunately. You want a sympathetic ear? Or, no?
I would really like you to go somewhere else. That's what I would really like.
I feel like you're trying to build up these walls between us. How about this? I will go somewhere else if you try this drink. And if you like it, maybe you can find me later and we'll make friends.
So he reaches down to grab the drink, and he's just like, oh. But instead of grabbing the drink, he grabs your hand and just pulls you up by the arm to his face. And he says, what part of I don't want to talk to you do you not understand, Goblin?
But you're talking to me right now.
I'm going to put you down, and you can either do one of 2 things. Stand here and get killed on the spot, or go somewhere else.
Godric and Olpion stand up.
We stand up.
Your kind, where I am from, are not welcome there, and I don't like you anywhere I see you.
Well, I'm not really from where
And
you're
he kind
from.
of sets you down.
And that's a shame.
Trin, I think our food is coming.
Everything all right over there, Trin?
Everything's fine. This is my new friend. He has really cool tattoos, just like you, Godric.
Whoever did them did a shitty job. Now get over here.
Well, you don't have to be mean to the guy. I'm just gonna set this right here, and if you don't want it, that's fine. I didn't make it. It's halfling stuff, so it's totally not gross goblin stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna go back and make friends somewhere else. I hope you find peace in my absence.
He just lets you walk and just goes on like you weren't even there.
I'm gonna walk over to that table. right past him.
Okay.
Hello. The goblin you found distasteful?
Why does everybody have to be this way? And he turns and looks at you and stands up. What do you want?
Just want to know if you found the goblin distasteful.
Of course I do.
Right.
Don't
You
most
see this,
people.
and I reach into a bag and I pull out a clump of Tren's hair that I've been holding on to. This is that goblin's hair. His name is Tren. You find this distasteful?
Not really.
No?
I'm finding your presence here distasteful at the moment.
Perfect. I'll fix that. I cast Banish on him.
Oh!
He
Yeah.
disappears. He'll be gone for 10 minutes.
Holy
I
shit!
look over at the people at the table. Don't be like him, youngsters. And then I'll walk back to you guys.
Is he allowed to do that?
No, I'm not. I guarantee that was illegal. Locke, what's bothering you?
You can't. If I can't just hit people, you can't just do
So-
that.
He's perfectly safe.
When you banish him, the lights in the room shift and shimmer, and you can feel a force move through the room, and the tables all shake. And the magical lights disappear in the room, and then you hear something, two somethings, hit the floor. And then the lights come back on, and the guy you just banished is there, but his head's gone.
What?
And it's rolled across the floor.
What? What?
And then there's a very malicious darkness in the room with you.
All through our
Until
table!
next Friday.
All through